want to move on to Tanaiste Simon Harris's comments on migration on Wednesday. I think he was on his way into cabinet, and he basically said, and in no uncertain terms, migration is too high, which is stronger comments than we've heard from him or anybody really in government.
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways I think of looking at this. Firstly, you'd actually both Micheál Martin, the Taoiseach, and Pascal Dunn, the Minister of Finance, basically both coming out backing those comments and agreeing with them. The government has taken measures to speed up decisions, increase the number of deportations. I think the criticism of Simon Harris's comments was well articulated by Gary Gannon today, the Social Democrats TD, where he effectively said that the Taoiseach is being a commentator when he is in fact implementing policy, a legislator at the head of government, effectively. Obviously, this will be arising from City West. It arises from the spoiled votes and some of the comments.
There was a lot of migration on the spoiled votes.
A lot of migration on on that. I think there was a little bit of frustration in Fianna Fáil today about those comments. Just speaking to a few people privately.
What in particular was frustrating them?
I think what they would, one or two people I spoke to saw it as maybe a little bit of a veiled criticism of Jim O'Callaghan as Justice Minister. Now, there are very few people in the political system at the moment who would criticise Jim O'Callaghan, and the point they were making, because he seemed to have been very effective in his role so far, but I think they were making the point that Jim O'Callaghan, now this is a very Fianna Fáil way of looking at it, this is just spin, but there's some truth to it, that Jim O'Callaghan has done more in his 9 months as Justice Minister than Helen McEntee did in 5 years. Bear in mind, Heather Humphreys was in there, and Simon Harris himself was in there for a brief period as well. So I think they took it as a little bit of a slight. But yeah, I mean, I think it's not unusual for Simon Harris to make that kind of comment on the back of something that has obviously awoken, another discussion around this, because it had kind of gone off the boil a little bit as a topic.